has almost doubled. Friday marked the 2-year anniversary of the murder of 59-year-old Ricky Bailey, who was shot inside his home on Rapson Road by 2 unidentified assailants in 2020. As of Wednesday, family and friends had pledged a total of $4,600 for information about Bailey's murder. Since then, that reward has increased, according to the Huron County Sheriff's Department. In the 2 years since Bailey's death, the Sheriff's Office says several tips have come in, but so far nothing solid has come of them. Anyone with information is asked to call 989-269-6500 or the confidential tips line at 989-269-2861. The city of Saginaw saw a decrease in non-fatal shootings in 2022. According to a report by the Saginaw News, the number of homicides remained the same from 2021 at 19. 3 of those murders did not result from gun violence. Non-fatal shootings declined from the previous year by 57. 93 in 2021 to 40 in 2022. Police say of the 19 homicides in 2022, 11 suspects have been arrested and charged. This year, the city of Bay City will face budget constraints, according to city manager Dana Muscat. Like most municipalities, she says budgets are always a challenge, and the budget for 2023 is no exception. She says she expects in the coming year, the city commission has to take a serious look at priorities, not only for roads and infrastructure, but for the health and safety of residents.
We are always very cognizant of what we're spending our money on, but, people want to see nicer roads, updates to parks, things like that. And we do the best that we can with the money that we have.
WSGW News Time 9:07.
This is Rachel from the SBRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington, right on Riverfront Saginaw. Celebrating a new year, 2023 is here. Come support over 30 small businesses like Global Flavors, Retail Therapy, delicious sweet treats, and more. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We thank you for the continued support of our small businesses. Remember to shop local, eat local, support small. See you at the market. This is Rachel from the boardroom, located inside the SVRC Marketplace at 203 South Washington. We are now open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., offering daily lunch specials, homemade hot soups, and the best specialty burgers and flatbreads around. Happy hour daily with over 20 top selections from local and Michigan brews. Going to an event downtown Saginaw? Show us your ticket for 10% off. Support small, get on board inside the boardroom.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. This year sees new laws, one of which is the Clean Slate legislation, which will streamline the state's criminal expungement process. It allows certain criminal convictions, such as a first-time drunk driving offense, to be erased from someone's past. The new law does not cover violent crimes or multiple felony convictions of the same crime. Supporters of the law say it will allow several people to start fresh and get jobs after already serving their sentences. The new year after an election begins with the traditional swearing-in ceremony outside the state capitol. Governor Whitmer took the oath New Year's Day morning.
Whitmer, I, Gretchen Whitmer, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully discharge, the duties of the office of governor, according to the best of my ability. Congratulations. Thank you.
During Whitmer's inauguration speech, she talked about her priorities that include helping workers, keeping people safe, and she says that she will continue to push for affordable health care, reproductive rights, gun control, and to fight climate change. Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, Attorney General Dana Nessel, and Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson were also sworn in for second terms. WSGW News Time 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. For today, areas of fog in the morning, mostly cloudy skies and a high near 43. Tonight, rain, cloudy skies and a low around 37. Tomorrow, rain with cloudy skies and a high near 53 degrees. A chance of rain, mostly cloudy skies and a low around 38 degrees. Into the day on Wednesday, a chance of rain in the morning, then rain and snow in the afternoon, cloudy skies with a high near 42 degrees. Wednesday night, rain and snow early, cloudy skies and a low around 23. And Thursday, mostly cloudy skies with a high near 28. I'm meteorologist Patrick McMillan with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Right now, it's 34.
Now, the show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
And indeed we are. Stop into Westside Decorating, 5789 State Street, to see their newly expanded showroom with everything needed for home decorating. Happy New Year! Welcome to the first show of 2023. How long will it take you to write that right on your checks? Because we don't write many checks anymore, but when we do, I have to stop and think about the date. It's a new year, and in many ways, I just want to put 2022 behind us. But a lot of what happened in 2022 will carry over to 2023. So we begin this holiday day. Today is technically the federal holiday. We'll have open program with the exception of the first half hour or so, and I'll explain that in a moment. But we will have open phones right through 11:30 this morning because we don't have a focus guest. Yesterday, New Year's Day, I had the privilege of presenting the toast to the office of the President of the United States at the Saginaw Club in downtown Saginaw. It was a surprise to me a month ago when I was asked to do it, but I did agree and did it yesterday. I've been asked by a number of folks who didn't have the opportunity to hear it if I would play it. So we will start the program today in two segments playing my address to the club yesterday. Nothing that you probably haven't heard me talk about on the show before, and some passages which I've read on this show before. So for those of you that are ardent listeners that have been here forever, you probably will have heard all of this. And for those who haven't, maybe you'll learn something and maybe you won't. We're going to take segment one, play that, and then we'll take a break and then come back and play the second segment from the Saginaw Club in downtown Saginaw.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us today for this very long-standing tradition. Today's speaker is a voice you will. He's been talking to audiences since 1965. As an active member in our community, he's been recognized with many awards over the years, such as the Spirit of Saginaw Award and the Lifetime Achievement Award, just to name a few. It is my privilege and honor to introduce Art Lewis as this year's speaker. Please help me welcome Art.
You might want to hold that till I'm done. What can I say? I mean, for 30 plus years, I've sat in the corner over there, speaker, and never in my wildest dreams imagining that someday I'd be asked to deliver the toast. It is a privilege, and I look forward to spending the next 20, 25 minutes with you talking about a number of things. We're going to look at the media, what it is, what it isn't. A little political advertising, we'll talk about that. Talk about the new media with the name social before it. And finally, we're going to spend some time talking about free speech and what it is. So with that, I'm a conversationalist. I'm not a speech reader. So I don't have a speech. We're going to converse about all of these topics. I'm going to start with the media. I have a way that I've done this for, I don't know, 20 some odd years in front of groups. And the media is a personal thing. So I'm going to go around, just ask a few of you, don't have time to do everybody, but ask a few of you what the media is in one word, and one word only. Gary? Communication. Next, go ahead. Awareness. Any word, there's no wrong words. Information. Bill? Newsfeed. Bill?
Probably more than just that is.
There are no wrong words. Persuasion. All right, anybody else? So, all right, well, I can tell you that in 20 some odd years of doing this, nobody has ever gotten my word, ever. And as I said, there's no wrong words. This is my word. Business. Because the media and its various factions are a business. They need readers for newspapers, listeners for radio, viewers for television, art lovers to go to museums. That's all media. But it's interesting that when I ask what the media is, 99 out of 100 times, people will automatically go to the journalism side, and particularly in this day and age, media. It's almost instinctive. Well, journalism has changed. There was a day when you got up in the morning, maybe you cranked on your radio, and radio had immediacy. It could tell you what happened, what just happened. So then at some time during the day, you turned on the television and you saw a picture of what happened. And then maybe in the evening after dinner, you sat back in your favorite chair, you picked up the newspaper and you read all the details. And that was pretty much the way you got your news. Well, that's changed, and that's changed a lot. And some people don't think it's for the better, because we are inundated with news. We are inundated with the good, the bad, the ugly. You'll hear it on the radio, you see it on the television, you have it on social media, it's instant. Think of this. You know, people talk about politics being very dirty today. Is it any dirtier than when Thomas Jefferson was running for president? He was accused of being an adulterer, maybe even was. But the difference is, whoever made the accusation, and we'll assume it's his opponent, spoke to somebody who took notes, put it on a horse, and that's the way you got your news. Maybe you heard about it 3 days later, one time, and that was it. Today, if someone accused Thomas Jefferson of being an adulterer, you'd hear it now, tomorrow, the next day, the next week, 100 times a day. You couldn't get away from it. So journalism has changed. I call it the new journalism. But it's not necessarily better on the national level. The local level, let's realize that journalists are your neighbors. Journalists are people who go to your churches, who go to your stores, whose kids go to your schools. They're no different than you or me or anyone else. It's their job. That's what they do. And the founding fathers were smart enough to know that we needed a watchdog on government. That was the media's role, to watchdog government, so government couldn't pull a fast one over you, lead toward a dictatorship without you knowing it. Founding fathers were about that, and we'll talk more about it when we get down to free speech later. And now, in this world we live in, we're inundated with political advertising, and it's negative. And why is it negative? It's negative because it works. Somebody responds to it. How many of you get robocalls? political robocalls, right? You can't get away from them. Why do you get them? Well, I talked to a political operative a while back, a couple of years ago actually, and asked about that. And I was told robocalls are the cheapest way to get the message out. Pennies per impression as opposed to buying expensive advertising. And I said, well, how can that be? Who responds to those? And I was told, if we make 100,000 and 2 or 3% respond, it's worth it. Well, 2 or 3% of 100,000 is 2 or 3,000 people that could make a difference in a vote count. So negative advertising is not going to go away. There's been all kinds of cries about it, and it's just not going to go away. And further, political advertising as broadcast by radio and television, we as broadcasters cannot deny a political ad. You could do a political ad that whatsoever. We could not bar you from running that ad. There's a window. It's a 2-month window prior to the election when broadcasters, and this only applies to radio and television broadcasters, have to sell you advertising as a politician at the cheapest rate we've charged. And there are conditions. The reason you hear politicians at the end say, I'm so-and-so and I've approved this ad, because their voice has to be included, their image has to be included to be what we call a political use. So consequently, candidate X could make up all kinds of things about candidate Y that weren't true, but we'd still have to run the ad because we're barred from making that editorial decision. There is another type of political advertising which doesn't come under political use. And that's all the issue ads and candidate ads you see that are sponsored by the committee to do so-and-so and such and such. Those are regular commercials and they pay top rate. So when you see all those commercials going by on your television or hear them on your radio, think of how much money they're spending. Politics certainly has become a money game. And as we will also learn when we get to free speech, because a lot of this revolves around free speech, the courts have said money is speech. That's political speech. So consequently, we have these political action committees that collect huge amounts of money, and they hope to get their way in the election because somehow it benefits them in the long run. So when you see those ads, just remember that politicians can, now their opponents can criticize them for it, obviously, and they'd be happy to run ads against the guy or gal. We'd be happy to take that advertising. It's very good for the media. Very, very beneficial for the media. We do very well with it. And remember, going back to what I said in the beginning, it's a business. We have to have funds to operate. How do we get those funds? We sell advertising. How do we sell advertising? We sell advertising because we either have a listenership, a viewership, or a readership that our clients want to advertise to and sell their. So along comes the new media. The new media is the social media. I object to the word media being included because, as we've learned here, the media now today talks about journalism and what it is and what it isn't. So when they came up with social media, while technically it's correct, it is a form of media, no two ways about it, it has not been what I would consider to be beneficial overall. The reason I say anyone can be a journalist, anyone can be a photojournalist, and they don't have to identify themselves. It's anonymous. We were trained as journalists many years ago that you went out and if you were covering a story, you would have a source, a credible source. And even though it was a credible source, you went out and found a second credible source so that you verified the information you were presenting. That's journalism at its basics. Who, what, why, when, why, how. And you did not include editorial comment. You remember the days of the newspapers, even though newspapers, a lot of them had political reference in their banner. It was the so-and-so Republican or the so-and-so Democrat. And then you had newspapers like the Saginaw News, which was just that. So when you wanted to know what they were thinking about a particular subject, you did what? You turned to the editorial page. You knew that's where it was opinion. You didn't want the opinion in the news, you wanted the news. The editorial page to find out what the editors were thinking at the time. We used to call it a dog and pony show. Senator John Siskey, after he retired out, was teaching criminal justice at Saginaw Valley State University. And Paul Chafee, who was the editor of the Saginaw News, and I used to do this little dog and pony show. We'd go up and talk to this fourth level criminal justice class about the media. And one of the things I started out saying, and this demonstrates how the media has changed over the years, is I started out saying, in the newsroom, there is a separation. There is the editorial side and there is the publisher's side. The editorial side is your news. That's where the news is generated, written about, talked about, shown. The publisher's side is the business side of the organization where they raise the money, sell the advertising, and that type of business. It was the business side. And I did that for years and years because Paul and I would stand there and I'd say, here's the editor of the Saginaw News. A few years before the newspaper shut down, they named Paul editor and publisher. That argument went right out the window. All of a sudden, the business side and the editorial side were married. And even Paul will tell you, not necessarily for the better. And newspapers have come upon tough times, as you all know. The Saginaw News is a shadow of what it used to be. And Paul told me at one time, 28 years to build it up, 28. And that was about the way it was. It really, papers, who else was keeping the history of a community? If you want to know something about Saginaw in 1932, you can go to the library, you can sit at the microfiche machine, and they still have them, and you can look at old copies of the Saginaw News and find out what happened back then. That was a source of history. Who's keeping that history today? Who are the historians that 30 years from now you can go back and see what happened in 2023? I don't know who that is. Yeah, we have, historical museums, but who's keeping the daily accounting of what happens in a community? I don't know who that person is. I really don't. Truly don't. But social media is with us to stay. It's going through its own growing pains. When media becomes the news, that's not a good thing. And if you look at things happening today like Twitter with Elon Musk, dominating the news. Every day it's something else. Social media is a tool. And I don't think we as a society have totally understood how to use that tool yet. Not yet, anyway.
That's the first part of my address to the members gathered at the Saginaw Club for the toast to the office of the president. Take a quick break, come back, and we will have the final portion of the address for you.
Need to update your furniture? Menards has the furniture you need in stock. Plus, you get a free rug. That's right. Buy any upholstered living room furniture at $2.99 free 5x7 area rug. That's $149.99 in savings. Need a new chair? How about a sectional, a new recliner, or love seat? Buy one today, get a free rug. Hurry up, get to Menards before they're gone. In-store only while supplies last.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. Consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
You'd never knowingly feed your pup mystery meat or spoiled grocery store food, so why are those some of the most common protein sources in kibble today? Yep, the dog food ingredient meat. Supermarket meat and packing plant scraps.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. Your dog needs a biologically appropriate diet similar to what they would eat in the Nature's Blend, a freeze-dried raw food made with premium cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Bailey is 12 years old. He has been on your food for 9 bags now.
Nature's Blend is pantry safe and has 0 artificial preservatives, additives, filler, or meat meal.
He's got more energy, able to run around and play when our grandson comes.
For a limited time, save 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free pack of premium dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/Marty or text Marty to 511-511.
I can't thank you enough. He's 12, and I'm enjoying every day with him.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 1 additional text. Text stop to opt out.
Is the Fox Business Report.
As the cruise industry hopes to make up for lost time at sea, cruise lovers can expect promotions to continue this year. Ships were offering serious bargains in the last couple of years, as low as $29 a day to get people back on ships. As of July of 2022, there are about 2,000 ships sailing for under $100 a day, others priced at just $50. The prices are moving higher, but deals are still available. Roughly 420 cruises are sailing at around $60 a day, with the average around $135. Tynan Smith, founder of Cruise Chic, tells Insider he predicts demand may normalize prices by the end of the year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Kosola, invested in you.
It's Jesse Kelly. Why do you think so many countries have huge gold reserve? Lasts. The value of gold lasts. How many times have I told you, buy things you can touch and feel, because you know the value lasts. There's nothing like precious metals, nothing out there like it. I buy all my gold from Oxford Gold Group, 833-974-1300. They'll deliver it to your front door. Oxford Gold.
God, I'm so stressed about my business not being ready for the holidays.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here.
Hello, I'm Mike Percha, the editor of the WSGW newsletter. Every weekday, I help coordinate the local Saginaw, Bay City, and Midland news being sent directly to your inbox. It's free and will help keep you in touch with the Great Lakes Bay region. To get the WSGW newsletter, sign up online at WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, and click on the WSGW newsletter sign-up box. And please let your family and friends know how easy it is to sign up for the WSGW newsletter.
And now we will return to my toast to the office of the president at the Saginaw Club yesterday. For the 110th year, they've been doing this toast to the office of the president. And here is part 2 of my address.
So I want to talk just for a little bit here about free speech, because this, to me, is a very critical issue. Before I get to it, I think what I need to do is read Amendment 1, the First Amendment. It says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. That is the text as written by the Founding Fathers. So as we talk about free speech, know that the courts over many, many years have pretty much ruled in favor of free speech to almost the point of anything goes. But what's missing from this text? In this text, it lays out the fact that the government can't prohibit you from speaking. Where in here does it guarantee you an audience? Nowhere. Nowhere. Where in here guarantee you that if you exercise your free speech, there won't be consequences? Nowhere. It doesn't say that. So what does that mean? Well, that means if you work for an employer who doesn't want his or her employees bad-mouthing them, they could set down the ground rules, because most employees today, other than contract employees, are at will. So if the employer says, you can't badmouth me, and hey, my free speech says I can say anything I want, and you call your employer whatever you call him, and the next day you find yourself out of work, do you have recourse on free speech? Nope. Nobody denied you saying what you said, but there is a consequence. You'll be looking for work. So free speech, if I said to you, all right, you have something you want to say, I don't want to hear it, I'm not denying you your free speech, but I'm not guaranteeing you an audience. But saying you have to say it, you could go right out that door to the roof of this building, shout it at the top of your lungs, and you will have exercised your free speech. Nobody stopped you from saying it. And nobody heard it either. But again, you were not guaranteed an audience. And you do so without consequence. One of the things free speech causes in this country is what separates us from many other countries. And that word is tolerance. Because in a country like ours, where you have the ability to speak freely, express your concerns about your government, about anything you want, in order to maintain that right and that privilege, you have to be tolerant of those whom you disagree with. So if your friend down the street, who may have different political views than you, puts up signs in his yard or, annoys you with his opinions, your tolerance of him allows you, because if you took away his right or her right to free speech, you take away yours. It has to be that way. You have to have tolerance. A great example of it, and one which I detest, is the burning of the American flag. That flag is our symbol of this country. But yet, it is an expression of free speech to burn it, so say the courts. Now, communities have found ways around it. They can't arrest you for expressing yourself. Arrest you for a fire code violation. So there are ways, but for the most part, you have to be tolerant of those you disagree with. I have often said to those that would burn the flag, if the news media wouldn't show it and nobody responded to it, it would eventually go away because they do it to get attention. That's much of what free speech is used for, to get attention. So when they burn the flag, it's all about it. If nobody were there to look at it, if nobody were there to praise it or even respond against it, eventually it would go away. They'd find some other way to get attention. Free speech, when you read why it came about, if you go back to, say, the Federalist Papers, you discover that the Founding Fathers were most concerned about being able to address your government. Political speech is what really was the foundation of free speech. It has been expanded by the courts over the years so that it includes almost anything today. There are limits. You can't say fire in a movie theater. We all know those. But for the most part, it has been expanded to the point of almost anything goes. And will it change? I doubt it. I don't think it will. I think it's up to all of us. And today, we live in a society that's in many ways getting away from its founding principles. If you look at the surveys about religion in America, for example, organized religion is losing congregations right and left. You interview people, you poll people, and you find that they are moving away from the bricks and mortar. And if you go deeper, you find out there are those that are moving away from God. This country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles. But yet, younger generation, particularly the younger generation, not interested. They're moving away from it. So the question facing churches, and I'm certainly not a church historian, but the question facing churches is, how do you reattract? How do you attract younger members today? You don't change the message because that's the basis of your church or your synagogue or your mosque. So how do you find ways to attract that new generation? Maybe the way you present the message. How many Sunday services now have lots you never had before? So it's part of the way. So I want to end talking about the democracy, or in our case, a representative republic, if you will. I'm going to read a passage, and I'm going to ask you to think about where on this scale you think the United States is today. This is attributed to a man by the name of Alexander Fraser Tytler, lived back in the 1700s. He wrote this piece about democracy. So listen, as particularly the last third of this paragraph. He said, quote, "A democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government. It can only exist until the voters discover that they can vote themselves largesse from the public treasury. From that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidates promising the most benefits from the public treasury, with the result that a democracy always collapses over loose fiscal policy, or by a dictatorship. The average age of the world's greatest civilizations has been 200 years at the time of this writing. These nations have progressed through this sequence. from bondage to spiritual faith, from spiritual faith to great courage, from courage to liberty, from liberty to abundance, from abundance to selfishness, from selfishness to apathy, from apathy to dependence, from dependence back into bondage. Where is the United States today? Let us raise our glasses. Rise. We ask God to give wisdom to our leaders so that this great country continues as it is. We ask God to bless the men and women of the armed forces who protect our rights. We ask God to bless the United States of America. Let's raise our glasses to a toast to the office of the President of the United States of America.
And thus concluded, there was playing of the national anthem and closing remarks, but that was the address to the assembled, and this was at the Saginaw Club yesterday at high noon. It is a tradition that the club has done for 110 years, and I was quite privileged to now be a part of that long, long history. Take a break, come back for the remainder of the program right through 11:30 this morning. We will have open phones.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax stopped, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For everything your business needs to make this year your year, Staples has you covered.
I need to organize all my papers and files from last year and the year before that.
Staples has you covered.
I need to clear clutter from my office, and my home office, and my home.
Staples has you covered with everything you need to get organized this year at amazing savings. Right now at Staples, get up to 50% off select file folders, file cabinets, file boxes, and storage bins. Make this year your year at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 1/28 in store only.
Some people got COVID and thought, well, that wasn't such a big deal. But you can get COVID again, and next time it could be worse, especially for those 50 and older, or with a chronic condition like heart disease or diabetes. But with an updated vaccine, you have better protection from COVID's worst outcomes. And that's a big deal. Find updated COVID vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
A perfect time to save money.
So why would you pay full price when you know you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now from Super Cute and Freeland, The Bearded Axe, Patriot Carpet Cleaning, Applied Training Solutions, and West Side Decorating. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Broadcasting from the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW for this technically a holiday. It is the 2nd of January, 2023. And Russ is waiting for us in Bay City, so let's begin the new year by talking to Russ this morning. Morning, Russ.
Good morning, Art, and Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Well, I enjoyed your discussion.
Thank you.
And to answer your question, I believe that we are in the final stage of from dependency to bondage. I mean, I think we've been in that stage for a bit now. But what it reminds me, what Tyler wrote reminds me of, there was a novelist, Michael Hoff, and he came up with a line that I really like. It says, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times.
Back you go.
You know, it's a circle.
It's a circle. And listen, that is a lot of credibility to that. I like that.
Yeah, it's because we repeat these things over and over again. It's like we're on a track and we don't learn.
Well, but the other side of that, think of this, Russ, now. Think of this, and think of it just in terms of this country. Forget the rest of the world right now. Has that not been the life cycle of the United States? And haven't we learned to live with that cycle through the good times and the bad times?
Oh, yeah.
Strong leaders, weak leaders. Strong leaders, weak leaders. We've had that. That's been our history.
Oh, absolutely. But we got to look at where the population is going, and every poll of people below the 8, we don't have a two-sided country anymore. We're losing that. It's going to be a one-sided polarity. I mean, the vast majority of the millennials and the Gen Z and the Gen are left-wing socialist.
I'm not as pessimistic, mainly because this country's lived through it before. We are resilient. Right, I think if you look historically, when the public gets fed up, the public makes changes. Sometimes we don't like the changes, other times we do like the changes. But in general, when the public gets fed up, the public rises to the occasion. What's more worrisome, I think, to me, is that those same polls show us moving away, as I mentioned in that little address, from the Judeo-Christian principles this country was founded on, of the weakness in the organized church today, or religion, if you will, and moving away from God.
But we got to understand, though, that's always been. Socialism has always promoted the destruction of religion and the worship of the state. You can't you can't serve two masters. You can't serve the state if you.
Well, don't confuse socialism with communism now, because there are socialist countries that have lots of religions.
Okay, well, we'll have to agree to disagree. But
okay, that's fine.
It's a movement towards. You look at socialist countries and you look at the percentage of people who are godly in those nations, and it's minuscule, and they're oppressed. And you better keep it in the closet because no one wants to hear about your offensive discrimination against whoever because you're a Christian or because you're a Jewish person or name the religion that oppresses everybody else that wants to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, course, if you look at history, some religions have been oppressive too.
And they have, and they've needed to be taken to the woodshed for it. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. I mean, it just doesn't, just because you put the name of religion over the top of your building doesn't make you exempt from being decent people.
That's right.
You know, look at Jim Jones. I mean, that dude was a monster, and he did it all in the name of religion.
Yep, absolutely.
You
Well,
know,
I mean, all you have to do is look at history. We've killed more people in the name of God in wars than anything else.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, I mean, it's historic. All right.
All right,
Russ.
Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Enjoyed your discussion.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Take care now.
Yep. Bye-bye now. It's you know, it's true on the one hand that in some ways this country has moved away from the vision of the founding fathers. On the other hand, you have to admit the founding fathers gave us the ability to do that in the Constitution. So, you know, it's the way it is. So here we are on this January 2nd of 2023. What's this year going to be like? What are your concerns about 2023? Or what are you looking forward to? Think about that. We'll talk about it next hour.
Watch all this brouhaha.
Have a good sense of humor and like craft beers? Come to the 11th annual Brouhaha, January 13th and 14th at the Dow Event Center. Brouhaha has 2 comedy shows each featuring over 160 styles of beer, cider, and meads. Tickets include a souvenir pint glass, sample tickets, and the comedy show. VIP tickets include unique samples and Q&A with brewing experts. Get your tickets early to Brouhaha. Saturday night always sells out. Find out everything at DowEventCenter.com.
At Staples, you can count on every project being print perfect, guaranteed.
I need presentations and brochures printed, and they have to be perfect.
Your bounded presentations, brochures with the finest folds, and more will be done right every time. That's our Print Big promise. Now at Staples, get $10 off your document printing and marketing materials order of $50 or more, plus 20% back by a store bonus. Try Staples and see the difference. Ends 2/11. Rewards members only. Bonus must be redeemed in store. See staples.com/stores/printbig for details.
Dancing crew, trip for 2, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more. New COVID-19 boosters designed for recent Omicron variants are now available. Learn about eligibility and schedule a free updated booster today at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need. Indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign. And we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, the WSGW morning team.
WSGW online poll, your outlook for 2023. There are many polls asking about the country in the new year. A recent USA Today Suffolk University poll showing 65% of Americans think the country is on the wrong track. The same polls show the mood 39% hopeful, but what about you and your specific life? Take into consideration your personal, your professional life, your health, your family, your finances, whatever it might be. The poll question is, how do you think the year 2023 will be for you? Will it be a great year? Will it be a good year? Will it be an average year? Will it be a difficult year? We hope we have more of the goods and the greats than the others, but SW.com, scroll on the homepage, look for the poll box, and make your vote that way.
I always choose to be optimistic.
You live optimistically and then deal with whatever necessity you have to.
Look forward to the new year.
Exactly.
Your morning team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we will be back after the news. CBS will bring you up to date on the world and the nation, and we'll have a local report for you in the WSGW newsroom. And then we'll be back with more good conversation on the Art Lure Show.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
I'm Monica Ricks in New York. It's all hands on deck this morning near Sacramento, where heavy rain from a powerful storm has caused widespread flooding and power outages. Matt Robinson is the county's public information officer and says crews have had to make dozens of water rescues.
We did have to break out boats to our firefighters and sheriff deputies to go out and to try and find people who were trapped in their cars. A person was found deceased who had been trying to drive through the water.
That same system is now forecast to bring snow, sleet, and freezing rain to other parts of the country. The Weather Channel's Stephanie Abrams is tracking it.
Portions of Minnesota down towards Nebraska could see 1 to 2 feet of snow. And while all this is going on, the West is going to continue to get hammered with way through the end of the week.
The Deep South is under severe thunderstorm and tornado threats for the next 2 days. Russia's not letting up on Ukraine. Smoke rises from the rubble of a building in the Russian-occupied Donetsk region. The Ukrainians claim 400 Russian troops died in this attack. The Russians put the casualty figure at 63. Overnight, new Russian missile and drone strikes also knocked out power and heating in parts of the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. That's CBS's Vicki Barker reporting. It's a day of mourning at the Vatican where Pope Emeritus Benedict will lie in state until his funeral on Thursday. CBS's Chris Livesay is in Rome where
he's wearing red and gold vestments, flanked on both sides by Swiss guards. There's organ music playing, also solemn singing.
The former pontiff died Saturday at the age of 95. Well, the holidays are over and lawmakers are heading back to Washington today to prep for a new Congress. CBS's Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
Ahead of a critical Tuesday vote for House Speaker, Leader Kevin McCarthy is offering several concessions to woo more conservative factions of his party. According to a newly released rules package, only 5 members are needed to remove a speaker from office. McCarthy also plans to create a committee to investigate the Biden administration, and other committees reflect the, quote, ideological makeup of the Republican conference.
A police chase turned deadly near Baton Rouge, Louisiana. CBS's Jim Kursula has details.
An Addis, Louisiana police officer identified as David Cawthron has been charged with negligent homicide after he allegedly killed 2 high school girls during a high-speed chase. Investigators say he was racing to join the pursuit when he ran into a vehicle carrying the teens.
Other officers were chasing a man who'd reportedly stolen his father's car. It is the first day of a new year of trading on Wall Street. The Dow's down 73 points this hour. The Nasdaq down 11. This is CBS News.
This COVID-19 booster shots designed for recent Omicron variants. Learn more and schedule your updated booster at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
RocketGrabPlus.com. A perfect time to save money. So why would you pay full price when you know you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now from Super Cute in Freeland, The Bearded Axe, Patriot Carpet Cleaning, Applied Training Solutions, and West Side Decorating. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. And we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish. Sounds easy. It is. And it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI. Or to download the app today.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' term goals.
You don't just provide cookie cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 37 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Perchap. Labor shortages and staffing issues didn't only hit private sector in 2022, but government as well. Here's WSGW's Jonathan Dents.
In Saginaw, City Manager Tim Morales says finding workers for the city during 2022.
Just like any other business that you've seen around the country, we had trouble filling a lot of positions, and it can have a huge impact on our ability to provide services.
Morales says that the city has begun to implement several options for training prospective employees, from sponsoring cadets at the police academy to running a fire academy through the department. The city also started a training program for prospective employees to get their commercial driver's licenses before joining the public services department, where Morales says workers were desperately needed for repairs to the city's water and sewer lines. Jonathan Dent, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
And another person is hospitalized after a shooting Sunday night at a Saginaw gas station. Saginaw police report the two arrived at a local hospital in a car with three other people after a report of shots fired around at 10:20 p.m. The call came from the Marathon gas station at 2740 East Holland Avenue. The teen boy died at the hospital, and the 21-year-old woman is in stable condition. None of the other people in the vehicle were injured. Police are asking anyone with information to call 989-759-1761 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-422-JAIL for an anonymous tip. No suspects are in custody at this time. If the homicide is related to an earlier shooting in Buena Vista Township, Saginaw County Central Dispatch reported that shooting yesterday at 3:50 a.m. in the 1600 block of Mack Road. There are currently no details on any victims or suspects. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
WSGW. It's the weather forecast is coming up. Motorists filling up will see a jump at the pump due to legislation signed in 2015 by former Governor Rick Snyder. The tax on gas and diesel increases every year on the 1st and is based on the 2022 inflation rate since it hovered around 8%. The former 27.2 cents per gallon is now 28.6 cents, which is around 1.5 cents more. The tax money is to fund deteriorating infrastructure and is in addition to the federal gas tax of 18.4 cents per gallon. Combined with the state sales tax and other fees, you're currently paying 70 cents of gas. The past year has seen a record number of employees quitting their jobs. Business editor Murray Feldman reports there might be one thing that can stop that exodus.
It's a bonus, a holiday bonus. A study from the business support group Skynova revealed 98% of workers who received a bonus in 2021 stayed with the employer throughout 2022. The outplacement firm Challenger Gray & Christmas, based in Chicago, says 17% of companies have actually raised the monetary value of their bonuses this holiday season. In other words, they're giving people more money. But 27% have decided to cancel bonuses altogether. That's up 4% from 2021. News Network.
Canadian officials are casting doubt on the likelihood the Gordie Howe International Bridge will be finished by the expected completion date of the end of 2024. According to Canadian news reports, Michael Hatchell, head of the Canadian-led group Bridging North America, says he expects the bridge to be finished sometime in the first half of 2025. The official opening date remains in 2024, but there are talks being held whether or not it needs to be pushed further back because of pandemic-related delays. WSGW News Time, 10:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology for cloudy skies here for today with a high into the lower 40s. Winds will be light and variable. Then for tonight, a chance for rain showers here late. Cloudy sky conditions and a low near 38. Tuesday, a chance for rain showers, cloudy high of 50 degrees. Then by Wednesday, a chance for rain and snow mixing early, then becoming all rain showers, cloudy and high around 43. Thursday, a slight chance for snow, cloudy skies, high 33 degrees. Then on Friday, partial sunshine develops with a high around 32. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vuchitsky with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 35.
The only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Well, indeed we are. Westside Decorating Center in Saginaw. Stop in. Visit them at 5789 State Street. See their newly expanded showroom with everything you need for home decorating. Say Happy New Year to Mike Stoddard and the gang at Westside Decorating. And we have open phones till 11:30 this morning, so whatever you'd like to chat about, 989-752-6111 as we broadcast from our Saginaw Spirit Home studio. And those of you who might be watching on the stream, notice I'm wearing some Saginaw Spirit gear this morning. Got on my Saginaw Spirit pullover this morning. They are doing phenomenally well. And just can't wait to see how this season ends for them, because they're going to go far. Just, if you haven't been to a Saginaw Spirit game, and the crowds have been pretty good, very good as a matter of fact, you owe it to yourself to go to a game. Even if you're not a hockey fan, I mean, it's just the fun of being there. It's a great entertainment venue, and you get to see some very, very exciting talent, including young Michael Misa, 15 years old, although soon to be 16 by the end of this month. Had exceptional status, which allowed him to join the Ontario Hockey League at the age of 15, and he leads the team in goals. He's just that good. And then they traded for Hunter Haight, who has scored points in every single game he's been here. I think it's up to 11 games in a row now that he's had points. And Pavel Minchkov, the list goes on. And of course, local product Mitchell Smith, who plays defense from Saginaw. So it's a great way to spend an evening. Good family entertainment. It's a lot of fun, and still reasonably priced. Saginaw Spirit. All right. We have a number of things to talk about, but we always yield to the phones. We'd love to do that, and our buddy Errol is in Saginaw. So Happy New Year, Errol.
Happy New Year to you, sir. Do I need to have an appointment to get your autograph anymore?
No, if you send me a note, I'll send you one.
That's about as close as I'm getting to. Now you have to have a guard. You know, while everyone else was watching sports, including my other half yesterday, I was enthralled with a couple of other things. If you had a chance, would you buy a Trans Am brand new or Firebird brand new?
You mean Pontiac, which is gone by the wayside. When you say brand new, are you talking about an old one that they've discovered that's brand new, or a new one?
No, GM has had so many requests for it, apparently. They're going to sub it out to someone else, and they're going to reproduce both of those vehicles.
As reproductions. Yeah, well, no, I can't say. I would not, only because I was not a great fan of that body style and that style automobile. That and the Camaro were never on my list of cars I wanted. I was a Corvette fan. And, I had a Corvette for a while, and, even at my young age of going to be 80 in a month, I would still buy another Corvette. I love them. But I'm not. I was never a Trans Am fan. That I wanted one. Let's put it that way.
Okay, all right. Now, the other thing that I found out yesterday while enjoying sports is that they have had a real bad problem figuring out why whales and dolphins have been ditching themselves. So in all the research that they've done in the last couple of years, is that finally figured out that because of all the junk in the ocean and all those little white things and everything else, they think that both of them have attracted Alzheimer's disease. That's what's causing them to beach.
Well, then it would be historic because they've beached for years and decades.
Well, not in the quantity that they've been doing for about the last 5 years.
Depends where you are. Depends where you are. They've done it many times before. What's the difference if it's 75 or 100? It's it's still beaching.
I don't know. It's a lot of them.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Well, I don't know. Anything's possible. I have no idea. I mean, anything's possible.
That's probably true, sir. Go enjoy your fame. Next time I see you, I'll get your autograph. I'd like to put it on my wall someplace.
All right.
I moved this dartboard over. Oh, yeah. Okay. Have a nice day, sir.
You can put my picture next to it and throw darts.
No, I won't do that. With my luck, you probably get a headache and croak from it. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Take care, Earl. Bye-bye now. I've known him a long time, folks. A long time. Since I got here. I got here in 1974. He's one of the first people I met. Anyway. Whoops. There we go. Hello. Something went way haywire there. As you know, hopefully you know, the governor was inaugurated for her second term yesterday, as well as the Attorney General and the Secretary of State. And in her speech, Governor Whitmer made some pledges. And some of those pledges included gun control. And remember now, she has a full Democratic legislature. The gun control probably will revolve around red flag laws and increasing background checks. That would be my guess, that the red flag laws and the background checks will come to the forefront in gun control. She also pledged to provide relief for seniors, getting rid of the taxes on pensions and things of that nature that happened under Governor Snyder. So it will be interesting to see what actually comes forth in this legislature now that it is under total Democratic control, where the executive and the legislative branch are all under the control of Democrats. And add to that, even though technically, legally, we don't think of it that way, the Supreme Court also has a liberal majority. Now, hopefully, they rule on the constitutional issues before them in the state of Michigan, as opposed to political issues, if you will. But it's going to be a different time in this state for the next couple of years, because that's the next time you have a chance to make changes again. It's going to be interesting to see what direction the state has taken and how far it goes. No specifics, as in all of these speeches. They put forth the ideas, but they don't put forth the specific. That's true in inaugural speeches, and it's true in State of the State speeches. A lot of ideas, very few specifics. And in Michigan, this will be a huge, huge change. She was also asked if she plans to serve out the 4 years. This was before the inauguration. And you might say, well, why would somebody ask her that question? Because there has been speculation. That's all. Speculation, talk. That if the president, Joe Biden, decides not to run, or if those in his party choose to oppose him, Gretchen Whitmer's name is on a short list of potential candidates. She has said no, she intends to serve out her term as governor and has no national aspiration. Well, that's fine. But as in all things political, what's said today can change tomorrow. That's the history of political speech, if you will. Candidates tell you one thing today, and then you wake up tomorrow to find out it's something else. And both sides. That's not a slam on the governor. That's the nature of the beast. Politicians often say what they have to say to get elected and then go do what they want to do once they're elected. So while she says she will serve out the 4 years, and I take her at her word, I also understand that scenarios change from time to time. So what do you expect in Michigan? What will the state look like 2 years from now, let's say, the next time you have a chance to vote for representatives, who, by the way, now can serve 12 years as representatives? So is the state going to change very much because of the political tide? 989-752-6111. That or anything else you want to talk about, give us a call on this technical holiday, July 2nd, 2023.
Add a stylish look to your bathroom with help from Menards. Max has more than 1,000 bathtubs, shower kits, and shower doors to add luxury to your life. Our selection of Hannah shower kits come in finishes like brushed nickel, chrome, dark bronze, and matte black, and are designed with clean, modern lines, chic hardware, and a reversible configuration for left or right installation. Save big money on Max bathroom products now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an Dom. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter. Hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The housing market may be cooling, but many Americans are looking to escape from their current area, with around 25% of people turning their attention to cities in Florida, according to a study from Redfin. During the second half of 2022, the U.S. housing market cooled significantly due to higher mortgage rates, inflation, and an uncertain economy. Many would-be buyers are seeking relative affordability as surging mortgage rates and persistently high home prices make expensive parts of the country even more expensive. Sacramento coming in the top spot for the highest net inflow of property searches on Redfin's website, while half of the top 10 migration destinations the cities, including Miami, Tampa, Cape Coral, and Northport, Sarasota. People moving to places like Florida do so because home prices are often far less expensive than in cities like Los Angeles. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
It's Jesse Kelly. Why do you think so many countries have huge gold reserves? Gold lasts. The value of gold lasts. How many times have I told you, buy things you can touch and feel because you know the value lasts. There's nothing like precious metals, nothing out there like it. I buy all my gold from Oxford Gold Group, 833-974-1300. They'll deliver it to your front door, Oxford Gold Group.
You'd never knowingly feed your pup mystery meat or spoiled grocery store food, so why are those some of the most common protein sources in kibble today? Ingredient meat meal can be made of spoiled supermarket meat and packing plant scraps.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. Your dog needs a biologically appropriate diet similar to what they would eat in the wild. That's why I developed Nature's Blend, a freeze-dried raw food made with premium cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Bailey is 12 years old. He has been on your food for 9 bags now.
Nature's Blend is pantry safe and has 0 artificial preservatives, additives, filler, or meat meal.
He's got more energy, able to run around and play when our grandson comes.
For a limited time, save 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free pack of premium dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/Marty or text Marty to 511-511.
I can't thank you enough. He's 12 and I'm enjoying every day with him.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 1 additional text. Text stop to opt out.
This Thursday, December 15th, 2022 on WSGW, the Sharing Hope Radiothon Day to benefit the Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Christmas Wonderland, presented by Fisher Contracting, presented by TriStar Trust, digital presentation from Dick Williams Gun Shop, and a whole host of other businesses. Most importantly, you, our loyal listeners. We had a goal of $50,000. As we're approaching 6 o'clock, Bill Hobson, who advocates and coordinates the Radiothon. What do you have?
$58,067. So I've assembled a choir here to celebrate, Charlie. We have a little song. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Check out the WSGW Sports Broadcast page on WSGW.com. Want to know when and which WSGW station you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football, and SVSU football? Click on the Sports Broadcast box on WSGW.com.
All righty. Welcome back. And let's get back to our phones on the Art Lewis Show. Kathy is in Gratiot County. Kathy, good morning to you.
Morning, Art.
Morning.
I wanted to tell you that I happened to hear your broadcast yesterday, your address to the Saginaw Club, I believe.
Yes.
And I'm a retired social studies teacher. And many years ago, I heard someone, it might have been you, read the Tytler thought. It was before the internet, and somehow I managed to find it. And back then it was a lot more of a task.
That's true.
I taught alternative education, and I was excited when I presented it to my students. I gave them each a copy of it, and I read it to them. And bless their hearts, they could see that to me it was very, very meaningful. And so after I read it to them, they said something to the effect of, okay, that's great. Can we read this again and talk about it so we understand it?
Ah.
And that was one of the moments in teaching that just made my heart soar. Like a bird, not sore as in painful, although it is painful too. I wanted to thank you for reading it. I almost feel like that information, that sentiment, cannot be repeated too often. You know, we're connected to the universe, and yet we're isolated in our bubbles. And it was with a heavy heart I retired because I'm so fearful of the direction that we're going in, and so it almost feels like it's real okay to be ignorant of what got us where we are, and our not just our privileges and rights, but our responsibilities as citizens.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Kathy, as a former educator, as a retired educator, how has the system of education changed from the time you got in it until the time you retired?
I think that one of the single greatest factors of the federal government on everything that goes on in our schools.
I've often said that it goes absolutely nowhere, but I've often said I don't understand why we need a Department of Education.
Thank you.
It belongs at the local level and should come up from the local level, not top down from the government. I also feel, I think, the State Department of Education, for example, they may have some role and responsibility in making sure that, for example, students with disabilities are treated fairly and have educational opportunities and things of that nature. But they ought to stay out of the curriculum, in my opinion. That ought to be left to the locals.
I so concur with you. I remember when, by the way, I've been, so it's not like I've been out for, more than a decade or so, but I remember when Proposal A was on the ballot to increase the sales tax to 6%.
Right.
And so that the burden wasn't falling on property owners so heavily. And I think we just have this tendency to look for quick fixes. Because when I would teach government, I would always tell my students that the closer you are geographically, physically to where the decisions are being made, the more practical and common sense the decisions are. And I would say, if somebody walked into a school and saw something just grotesquely wasteful going on, they would go to a school board meeting and raise heck, and it would get fixed.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting about that, Kathy, is while that statement is absolutely true, then you have to ask yourself, why in local elections do we have such poor turnouts? Why don't people understand that that's the time when their vote counts the most?
I refer you back to the apathy that Tytler speaks of.
I knew you were going to go there.
Yep.
Absolutely.
If we look at our global standing in terms of education, it has done nothing but decline since the federal government got involved in education. I mean, do we need to say more than that? No. That's it. My friends in education will comment, and this is irrespective of political persuasion, because, by the way, not all teachers are wild-eyed leftists. That it gets tougher, and it does. Every year, there's more garbage that teachers are saddled with that they have to do, because the one with the gold, and I would say this in my classroom too, the one with the gold is going to make the rules.
Yep.
But when I want to go back to proposal A for a second, because I remember having this foreboding feeling that with the one with the gold making the rules, how much local control are we surrendering with this new way to fund schools? And boy, oh boy, has that ever happened. It used to be that the only credit requirement that came from Lansing for a student to get a diploma was 1 semester of government. With the merit curriculum, and I always use air quotes with that, it went to 18 credits. Lansing spelled.
Yeah.
Credits are perfectly appropriate for a university-bound student. But as we suddenly discovered with the wisdom of Mike Rowe, God love him.
Yes.
It isn't, every student does not need to be university bound.
You know, it's funny you bring up Mike Rowe because I just watched on YouTube the other day one of his testimonies in front of Congress on that very topic. And it was fascinating. I hadn't realized he had done that, and I happened to find it. And I have a great deal of respect for Mike Rowe. I think he's a very intelligent guy. And he was talking about this notion that everybody had to go to college and how wrong it was. And I just sat there mesmerized, actually. You know, the other thing that concerns me about education, and I'm not an educator, never have been one. The other thing that concerns me is that I think at some point in time we started teaching to the test rather than the subject. Am I wrong?
Absolutely, because how a teacher's students do on these tests is reflected in their evaluation.
Aha. All
so
right.
How crazy is that? How crazy is that? What if all doctors were evaluated based on patient outcomes?
Well, a lot of them are. You can look it up.
But I mean,
but they're not. I understand.
I mean their professional standing.
Well, you know, that's true. And I could say one thing about doctors. I can guarantee that every one of their patients is going to die.
Right. And once they leave the office, they're going to do whatever they want.
Yep.
You know, teachers have zero control over what goes on at home. And that's a whole other kettle of fish.
Yeah, that's true.
And with my alternative ed background, I could tell you a story.
I bet. Well, Kathy, I can't tell you how much I've appreciated your call, and it's nice to chat with you, and glad to know that not all educators are, as you put it, wide-eyed leftist. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a very, very happy New Year.
I lost you. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Thank you. There's so many times I've attempted to call, and today I got a call.
Do it again. Do it again sometime.
And please feel free to repeat Keitler's wisdom, and and end with as you did. So let's think about this. Where are we?
Where are we? Yep. All right, Kathy, I appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful day.
Thanks, Art. You too. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye-bye now. Kathy in Gratiot County, we thank her for the call this morning. Lines are open for you right now.
RocketGrabPlus.com. A perfect time to save money. So why would you pay full price when you know you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now from Super Cute in Freeland, The Bearded Axe, Patriot Carpet Cleaning, Applied Training Solutions, and West Side Decorating. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Some people got COVID and thought, well, that wasn't such a big deal. COVID again, and next time it could be worse, especially for those 50 and older, or with a chronic condition like heart disease or diabetes. But with an updated vaccine, you have better protection from COVID's worst outcomes. And that's a big deal. Find updated COVID vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, the WSGW Morning Team.
WSGW online poll, your outlook for 2023. There are many polls asking about the country in the new year. A recent USA Today Suffolk University poll showing 65% of Americans think the country is on the wrong track. But the same poll showed the mood 39% hopeful. But what about you and your specific life? Take into consideration your personal, your professional life, your health, your family, your finances, whatever it might be. The poll question is, how do you think the year 2023 will be for you? Will it be a great year? Will it be a good year? Will it be an average year? Will it be a We have more of the goods and the greats than the others, but we understand. Head to WSW.com, scroll on the homepage, look for the poll box, and make your vote that way.
I always choose to be optimistic.
You'll live optimistically and then deal with whatever necessity you have to.
Look forward to the new year.
Exactly.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. And we are having open phones right through 11:30 this morning. No guest on Focus. This is the holiday, if you will. We celebrate the Monday because New Year's fell on a Sunday, which is unusual. But, well, I guess it's not unusual. Once every 7 years it probably does, depending on a leap year, of course. We have Monday off, so don't look for any mail today. I don't think you'll get any mail, and all of that good stuff. Anyhow, by the way, there have been some interesting polls on how people feel about 2022 and looking ahead to 2023, and actually 57% in this one poll look forward to a better 2023. So we'll see. Mark is in Bay City. Mark, good morning.
Mr. To you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, yeah, Happy New Year. Anyway, I was really, that last caller, Kathy, she was spot on, in my view, you know. And I've always thought the NEA was really just another level of bureaucracy that just funnels money out of the system just for their own purpose. And I think we could do well with just the MEA. They're a very talented bunch. But anyway, another issue I had was when you said about Governor Granholm, or Governor
Whitmer.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I had a
mental block. I got it.
With this deal about removing the taxes on pensions for, Social Security or pensions.
Yeah.
But what they don't discuss, and they never really do, is how they're going to replace those funds.
Well, how did they do it before they put the tax on them?
Well, they didn't. Well, I'm not sure exactly what they did. But
they didn't spend it, is what they did. Maybe that's what the answer is.
It's got these proposals to fix this and fix that and fix this, it comes at a cost. And, everybody's going to have a rainy day fund, and they're not going to tap into it unless they absolutely have to. And so I just think that just won't happen. This is the ideal situation for the Democrats to fulfill that promise about it. They got legislative powers, they got executive powers, and it's an ideal setup. And if it doesn't happen, it probably won't happen, just by the fact funds.
Yeah, the problem with that is they find a way around it.
Of implementing it or not?
Whatever they need, they have a way of finding it. Whether it's money or anything else, somehow, if they want it, they find out how to get it. And in the end, it costs us.
Well, the lower 49% of the people pay all the taxes in this country.
Sure.
That's
right.
They're going to, go to the upper 5-10% it's not going to happen. They know how to bury money better than I do.
Yeah, me too.
That's why they got accountants and lawyers.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Okay. I got to take a break, Mark, but thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
You have a good New Year.
You too, sir. Thanks. Bye-bye now. We will be back with more after these notes.
There's going to be one day this winter. The temperature will be 10 below. A 45-mile-an-hour wind with driving snow is making it seem like 50 below. Is your garage door going to be ready for that day? Call M&R. M&R can service your existing garage door and opener, both residential and industrial. Or M&R can install a Clopay insulated garage door to keep your home warm. Make sure your garage door is ready for that day and every other day this winter. Call M&R Garage Door, 894-0971, where service is their specialty.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
It was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic. Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot, find you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender. 01-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-66. Advice on your situation. 800-401-6680 or 01-6681.
Art Lewis here for WSGW, inviting you to explore America's last frontier, Alaska, from August 30th to September 10th, 2023. You'll fly from Detroit to Fairbanks for the start of a 12-day land and sea adventure. Ride the stern wheel of discovery as you learn about Alaska's diverse culture and rich history. Then it's on to Denali National Park for a Tundra Wilderness Tour. From Denali, you'll ride a luxury dome rail car to Talkeetna and stay at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. The next day finds you driving to Whittier to board Holland America's new night cruise. You'll see Hubbard Glacier, Glacier Bay, plus stops in Scan before sailing the Inside Passage to your final destination of Vancouver, BC. Past experience tells us this will sell out fast. For a brochure, send your address to me and I will forward the brochure to you. Send to artlewis@wsgw.com. That's ARTLEWIS at WSGW.com. Alaska is calling.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW for 2023. Paul is in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art.
Happy New Year.
Art, before the pandemic, I was told that to pave one block of City Street was, and it's got to be higher now, because of the supply chain and the whole 9 yards. It was approximately $10,000 to pave one block of City Street.
And that depends how it's done. Is it just a topping or are they going down to the sub? Because I don't think you can go down to the sub for $10,000. I think it costs a lot more.
Well, like I said, this was before the pandemic. It's got to be higher now.
Well, yeah, so, but that's probably that 10,000 was probably for grinding off the top surface and laying new asphalt, as opposed for digging up the street and putting down a whole new base, a whole new sub.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Right. Okay.
What you just said, 10,000. It's got to be higher now.
Probably.
So my question to you is, would you stop eating and drinking any of your snack foods and snack drinks if an extra 15 cents per snack to pay for that paving of that city street?
Already do.
Would you stop eating and drinking any of your snack foods and drinks at 15 cents per?
So you're telling me you want to add that 15-cent tax to my snack foods
Correct.
and drinks?
Correct.
Correct. I probably wouldn't eat as many of them. I'd probably eat less. I'd probably drink less.
If you were,
because I find alternatives.
To say chocolate, soda pop.
Yeah,
coffee,
I'd find alternatives.
Potato chips. Whatever the snack food and drink was.
Yeah, well,
more than likely, most people would not stop eating or drinking those snack foods and drinks.
Some will, some won't. Yeah, some will, some won't. But so what? It's no different than a sales tax, is it? Do you not buy things because there's a sales?
It is a sales tax.
Yeah, but
I've
not heard anybody talk about putting a 15-cent sales tax on snack food.
You sure did.
Who did?
On your program, I proposed a 45-cent caffeine tax on coffee, chocolate, and soda.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm talking about people that can actually make it happen.
Well, at that time, with a Democratic governor and a Republican legislature, it wasn't going to happen.
No, and she asked for 47 cents, I think it was, or something like that, to fix the roads.
No, she wanted a 45-cent.
Right, to fix the roads.
So now that's not going to work because that's an essential.
Right.
Snack foods and drinks are not essential to human health.
Yeah,
but people still buy it every single day.
Absolutely.
So wouldn't you think that would be a good idea to pay for? Why?
Because it's
you pay for tax on beer and cigarettes and wine and liquor.
Let's see, beer. Well, I don't drink, so I don't buy that. Cigarettes, I don't smoke, so I don't buy that. I don't believe in in taxing the necessities because it could put more money in the coffers of the state. That's why we don't tax food, for example, when you go to the supermarket. And that's all part of food. You want to separate out what food you think is good and what food you don't think is good.
Alcohol and cigarettes and snack foods and drinks are not essentials. They're not necessities.
So what?
So
you're going to tax them because they're not necessities. In other words, you want to take away my choice.
Paving the streets, huh?
Nonsense. Nonsense. I don't believe in taxing things that you don't believe are necessities. I don't buy that at all. Not at all. Never will.
Well, that's your opinion.
And yours is yours. So we're in agreement that we're each sharing our opinion. All right, Paul. Something to think about.
All right.
I don't think they will. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye. And let's talk to Carl here before we take a break. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Happy New Year.
Same to you, my friend.
When you had the teacher, the ex-teacher on a few minutes ago,
yes,
she said a couple of times, she was talking about alternative education, and I don't know what that term means. Do you know what she was referring to?
I'm going to make an assumption. If I'm not mistaken, she was probably talking about teaching youngsters who had trouble in mainstream and either got in trouble or what have you. I'm going to, you know what? Stick around. Maybe after the top of the hour, I'll ask Kathy to call back and define it. That's a very good question. But I think it refers to teaching youngsters who have been taken out of the classroom because either they were disruptive or what have you. But we'll find out. I'll ask her to call back. If she calls back after the news at 10 after 11, we'll see if she calls back. Otherwise, I'll get her to call back at some time.
Right. And apparently the old days, you only needed 1 credit in government to graduate high school.
That's what she said, yeah.
That sounds to me like maybe that was a pretty low standard for graduation in my book.
Well, here's the question, though. Here's the question. Wait a minute. Here's the question, Carl. Why should the state set that standard or the federal government set that standard? Why doesn't your local school board, where you have more influence, set that standard?
But what if they don't? What if your local...
Well, then you change them. That's why you have a vote.
Well...
Hey, I got to run. I'm out of time this hour. We'll talk again. I got to go. All right, we will talk more about it after the news.
Bay City's best bridge is open to traffic. Brought to you by Bay City Bridge Partners and local union workers. Come see the new Liberty Bridge for yourself. Tolling is free through March. Drive the most direct route between home, work, school, and many of Bay City's hotspots. Experience the smooth new deck surface free of potholes and new, more reliable mechanics, electronics, and technology. Get your transponder and learn more at BayCityBridgePartners.com.
Your family just ordinary eggs when they can enjoy the best. Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste plus superior nutrition compared to ordinary eggs. With 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, 25% less saturated fat, and 38% more lutein. Because the way we care is anything but ordinary. Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You'd never knowingly feed your pup mystery meat or spoiled grocery store food, so why are those some of the most common protein sources in kibble today? Yep, the dog food ingredient meat supermarket meat and packing plant scraps.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. Your dog needs a biologically appropriate diet similar to what they would eat in the wild. That's why I developed Nature's Blend, a freeze-dried raw food made with premium cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Bailey is 12 years old. He has been on your food for 9 bags now.
Nature's Blend is pantry safe and has 0 artificial preservatives, additives, filler, or meat meal.
He's got more energy, able to run around and play when our grandson comes.
For a limited time, save 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free pack of premium dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/Marty. 511-511.
I can't thank you enough. He's 12, and I'm enjoying every day with him.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 1 additional text. Text stop to opt out.
That'll do it for this hour. We'll be back with more Open Phones on Focus after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by General Steel.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A helicopter rescuing a stranded driver in Wilton, California after torrential rain, high winds, and tens of thousands of customers without power. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti has our top story from Elk Grove.
The atmospheric river brought more than 8 feet of snow to the Sierra Nevadas, which shut down roads and even closed many ski resorts. As the system heads east through the Rockies, avalanche warnings are in effect after a skier was killed near Breckenridge, Colorado. And another avalanche was caught on camera from downtown Telluride this weekend.
Rescue crews found one person dead inside a submerged vehicle near Highway 99. Overseas, Russia's defense ministry says a Ukrainian rocket strike on a facility personnel in eastern Donetsk has killed more than 60 Russian troops. Ukrainian officials say exploding drones damaged more energy infrastructure in Kyiv today. Tens of thousands of people are lined up outside St. Peter's Basilica to pay respects to the late Pope Emeritus Benedict. CBS's Chris Livesay from the Vatican.
He's wearing red and gold vestments, flanked on both sides by Swiss guards. There's organ music playing, also solemn singing. It's precisely the type of setting you would expect for a papacy marked by his orthodoxy.
Benedict died Saturday at the age of 95. Here in the U.S., investigating a horrific death at an airport in the South. CBS's Jim Krasula has the details.
An unidentified ground crew worker died when he was sucked into an engine of an American Airlines plane at the Montgomery Regional Airport in Alabama. It happened as the plane was being readied to fly from Montgomery to Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport.
Deans at top law schools complained, and U.S. News and World Report listened. The publication says it's revamping its rankings to give less weight to surveys completed by those deans, faculty, lawyers, and judges, and they won't take into account per-student expenditures that favor the wealthiest schools. Rolling Stone out with a list of the 200 all-time. Aretha Franklin tops the list. Rolling Stone calls her a force of nature, a work of genius, a gift from the heavens. At number 2, Whitney Houston cited as the standard bearer for R&B vocals. Sam Cooke is third, savoring a song like few have. Billie Holiday, Mariah Carey, Ray Charles, and Stevie Wonder make 4, 5, 6, and 7 on the list. This is CBS News.
If you're a business owner renting or leasing, you can save a ton of money and own a custom-designed building made by General Steel. 74 Steel and get a quote today.
RocketGrabPlus.com. A perfect time to save money. So why would you pay full price when you know you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now, from Super Cute in Freeland, The Bearded Axe, Patriot Carpet Cleaning, Applied Training Solutions, and West Side Decorating. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying.
Happy Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
You'd never knowingly feed your pup mystery meat or spoiled grocery store food, so why are those some of the most common protein sources in kibble today? Yep, the dog food ingredient meat meal can be made of spoiled supermarket meat and packing plant scraps.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Golsky. Biologically appropriate diet similar to what they would eat in the wild. That's why I developed Nature's Blend, a freeze-dried raw food made with premium cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Daly is 12 years old. He has been on your food for 9 bags now.
Nature's Blend is pantry safe and has 0 artificial preservatives, additives, filler, or meat meal.
He's got more energy, able to run around and play when our grandson comes.
For a limited time, save 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free pack of premium dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/Marty or text Marty to 511-511.
I can't thank you enough. He's 12 and I'm enjoying it.
Rates may apply. You may receive up to 1 additional text. Text stop to opt out.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 37 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Kirchup. It's been a busy year in the city of Midland as the community has bounced back from what one official calls the lost years of COVID-19. Midland City Manager Brad Kay says a number of projects were able to be started in 2022 that the city has long wanted to make happen, including the Poseyville Park renovations at an old concrete block manufacturing facility.
It's been sitting there. We demolished the buildings about 8 years ago, I want to say. We've been able to acquire the funding, work with some partners, including the Michigan Baseball Foundation. That project, a little bit of the earthwork started this summer, and we'll be into it full bore next year, which will include not only the groundwork, it into a sort of a passive recreational park, but also building a bridge across the river to connect the East End area of downtown Midland to this park.
Kay says that new bridge will complete a loop trail, which includes Midland's iconic Tridge. One family's furry friend is safe after a house fire in Saginaw. The Michigan State Police responded to the fire on Ring Street around 9:20 Thursday night. All human occupants of the home had been evacuated, but the fire department found the family dog, Delilah, unconscious near the front door. Troopers took the pooch to their patrol car and began efforts to resuscitate her. After around 15 minutes of using a bag valve mask to provide oxygen, the dog regained consciousness and began breathing on her own and was reunited with the family. A pedestrian was struck and killed in Saginaw last Friday. Saginaw County Central Dispatch reported the crash on Gratiot near Woodbridge. According to Saginaw Police, the driver was cooperating with police in their investigation, which is ongoing. The pedestrian this time. WSGW News Time 11:07.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMax, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMax is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace RoofMax.
RoofMax, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. And Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
WSGW News Time 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. According to a campaign finance records obtained by the Detroit Free Press, Governor Gretchen Whitmer relied heavily on social media advertising during the 2022 governor's race. According to the Free, Whitmer spent nearly $1.5 million on Facebook ads compared to the $128,000 she spent in her 2018 campaign. She also spent $1.3 million advertising on YouTube, while she didn't spend any money on the video sharing site in the previous campaign. Meanwhile, Whitmer's Republican challenger Tudor Dixon reported spending just around $182,000 on online ads. Most of the money went to Facebook, while the rest went to Google. Dixon's campaign also spent close to $473,000 on text messaging services. Millions of, including thousands here in the U.S., are victims of worldwide human trafficking. A Michigan lawmaker, hopes a new law will help fight the horrific crime. Here's more from Michigan News Network's Greg Bowman.
Based on calls to the National Human Trafficking Hotline, there were more than 16,000 trafficking victims and survivors in the United States in 2020. However, the actual number of those crimes is likely much larger because the crimes often go unreported. In addition, the Michigan Human Trafficking Commission says an extremely high number of human trafficking cases involve the sexual exploitation of a child. Michigan U.S. Senator Gary Peters says the legislation he sponsored that was just signed into law will help to stop those crimes by increasing coordination between the Department of Homeland Security and the Blue Campaign, a national public awareness effort designed to educate law enforcement and the public to recognize human trafficking when it's happening. I'm Greg Bowman for the
WSGW News Time 11:10. When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom at 752-0790. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly cloudy skies here for today with a high into the lower 40s. Winds will be light and variable. Then for tonight, a chance for rain showers here late. Cloudy sky conditions and a low near 38. Tuesday, a chance for rain showers, cloudy, high of 50 degrees. Then by Wednesday, a chance for rain and snow mixing early, then becoming all rain showers, cloudy and high around 43. Thursday, a slight chance for snow, cloudy skies, high 33 degrees. Then on Friday, partial sunshine develops with a high around 32. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vuchitsky with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 35.
Now, it's time to focus. EW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
And welcome to Focus, the first one of the year for this 2023 year. And no guest today, but we are going to chat with someone we talked to last hour. Kathy had called in. She was a former educator in alternative education. And Carl called up and said he's not familiar with the term. What is alternative education? Well, Kathy has been kind enough to call us back and explain to us alternative education. Kathy, good morning again.
Morning again, Art.
So go ahead. What is alternative education? Was I right?
Yes, you're right. Alternative education is for kids who, for whatever reason, and they are as numerous as in alt-ed, are not functioning to the best in a traditional setting.
Now, this can be an educational disability, I assume also discipline disabilities and things of that nature?
Yeah. And they're typically much smaller settings, so there's a higher teacher-student ratio. They get more individual attention. And they're we get to know them better. A lot of times they're kids who, for whatever, not good stuff going on at home, like attendance could be an issue. Well, if you're in a smaller setting, we're going to be much more equipped to be right on that right away. And also, for me at least, it was a huge part was developing relationships, and these kids were often kids who'd been burned by adults in their life many, many times. So there was a definite brick wall you had to work your way through. And I also want to be real clear, what I did. I loved people who thought I was insane to do it. I loved it. It was really rewarding.
You were changing lives, literally.
I was changing family trees.
Yeah.
You know, some of my students were already parents. It was amazingly rewarding work. I loved it. I miss the kids. I miss coworkers. I do not miss the bureaucracy.
I knew that was coming. Coming.
Oh yeah.
Well,
And
you know,
a bit about
where would we be in this day and age without great educators like yourself? I mean, I know the influence they had on my life, and I think many people can look back and pick out that teacher or two who made an impact way above and beyond what all the other teachers did. I had a lot of good teachers, but they were just that. They were good teachers, nothing special, but they were good teachers. And then there were those who stood out and whose names I remember today from 50, 60 years ago.
Right.
Because of it.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know how we attract young people to join that chorus anymore. I just have a feeling we're losing ground in finding people that want to be those special educators.
Well, and the really sad part is, again, and not to beat, a dead horse, but all the bureaucracy, all the layers of all this garbage that teachers are expected to do does not encourage. In fact, I have to say it broke my heart to actively discourage my daughter from going into education.
Oh, really? Bill, that surprises me.
I remember saying a number of years ago to my mom, I wonder when we're going to get to the point where schools contact parents on Friday and say, so are they coming home or do we keep them? Because it feels like schools have become more and more expected to fill the role of parenting.
Yeah. And I'm sure you heard the question I asked Carl at the end, because he said, well, when you mentioned they only required one credit a government class, I seemed that real low. To my point, though, I said to him, look, who should set those standards? Do you want it set by the federal government or the state government, or should it be set by the local school board where you have a voice?
Exactly. And that is where the graduate, prior to Proposal A, other than that semester of government, graduation requirements were established by school boards. And another thing that's frustrating is people just seem really ready to vacate any responsibility for making what should be going on in schools is going on in schools, and yet parents being respected. It's kind of a real dilemma. Where do you draw the line? If a parent is really not fulfilling their responsibilities, there are regulations. Teachers have to report if they see things that cause them concern. On the other hand, I would be as offended as I can possibly describe if someone in my daughter's school had the gall to suggest that I wasn't doing an adequate job.
Yeah.
And also keep in mind that many school districts are thus and such community schools. Okay, the whole community, and I don't care whether you have community in your district's name or not, we are all accountable for how our kids do and what our schools look like.
Yeah.
And we seem ready to advocate. We are so ready to advocate. And I think one of our cultural problems right now is we're lazy, again, tightless. We're lazy, and we seem to be decided by experts. And as we know after COVID, experts don't necessarily have common sense in this ordinary thing called life.
Yeah. Oh, well. Kathy, I really appreciate the call back, and thank you for your service as an educator for all those years, and we appreciate it. Thank you much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Art. Happy to do it. I am kind of amped up about this.
I hear
subject,
that.
as you-
I hear that's good. We'll have to do this again. Kathy, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Have
Bye,
a good
Art.
day. Bye-bye now. Kathy, our educator from Gratiot County, we thank her for calling back, and I hope that answered the question for Carl. We will be back after these notes on Focus with Art Lewis.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks, and how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-75.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope, we use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie cutter portfolios,
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
but you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structure, so we do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The WSGW Morning Team.
Somebody is remaking Winnie the Pooh into a violent horror movie.
Oh, yeah. I remember this.
It's called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh, my.
Because the copyright ran out on Winnie the Pooh, and so now they can use the characterizations and such like that. And I guess the movie is coming out in February. Well, now, Bambi. The same person who wrote, produced, and directed Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is also involved in a Bambi remake. The show Bambi as a vicious killing machine lurking in the wilderness. Subtitle of the movie says, "Prepare for Bambi on rabies." Bambi isn't happy that mom got killed.
Is Thumper the Hitman or what?
The flower.
We know-
Flower's going to shoot him with a stink.
Actually, the film is going to be titled Bambi the Reckoning. First Winnie the Pooh, Bambi.
Let's face it, though, Piglet had it coming.
Apparently, it's not our childhoods anymore.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, your morning team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios. You are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
All right, we are back with you here on WSGW, and let's talk to Al in Midland. Al, good morning.
Good morning, Arthur.
Good morning.
And it's sad that there's so much of the hill to climb for good quality educators to get into the school teaching profession. There's so much of a hindrance to getting quality people in there, and they look at how much government and how much regulation, and they make choices to go off into other business endeavors and make more money doing other things when we could have had a very quality individual teaching classes and not having that because of all this regulation and all this bureaucracy. That is very sad to me.
Well, yeah, it's true. And I'd be honest, I don't see it changing.
We should be going for the best quality that we can get.
Of course.
Into
everything.
the teaching. And that is not doing it.
Yep, I agree.
It's causing it to we're getting the lowest of the scrapings of the barrel.
It's happening. It's happening all over though, because you talk to almost any industry today where you need quality people, and they are having a difficult time attracting people. whether it is education, law enforcement, medical, you name it. Now, the medical schools are full. We have a lot of people coming in trying to be doctors and wanting to be doctors. But you talk to hospitals about their attracting nurses and nurse assistants and things of that nature. And you talk to government people attracting people to fill the roles needed to run a city. They're all having a problem.
Yeah. Hey, I've got another comment on the optics of Biden taking all these expensive vacation things. Every time I turn around, it is taking a vacation off in some foreign land, ritzy, very ritzy. I can remember when...
I'm not going to fault that because every president does it.
But I can remember that Reagan did it on his ranch. He went to his ranch.
Well, it still cost about the same. So what? Cost about the same amount of money.
But it didn't. I don't think it cost the same amount. I think when they went to the Caribbean and all these other places, I think it's a lot more expensive.
Not really, because you still have the same protection.
Bush took his vacations. He got on his bicycle, and that was his vacation, to be on his bicycle, bicycling around. The Secret Service had a real tough time
in
trying
Texas
to keep up with him.
In Texas.
Yeah, but that was his vacation.
Yeah, I understand that, but they all have different vacations, and they deserve vacations.
I know, but and I look at back at Obama. He went all over and toured all of Africa. Well, White House and working on things.
All right.
And getting the job done.
Fair enough. I just don't fault them for that. That's
the
least. That's the least of the worries.
I just like to see them in the White House doing their job more.
That depends on the president. Some I would rather see do less.
Yeah, well.
All right. Listen, I got to run out.
Keep their nose to the grindstone. People are suffering, and he's off vacation, and the optics of it look bad.
All right. Fair enough. All right, Al. And let's finish up with Mike in Thomas Township. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Art. That was kind of funny. Yeah, they should maybe stay out of the office a little bit. But anyway, the reason I was calling, I turned on the radio yesterday, and to my surprise, they were just announcing about the, toast to the presidency, the White House, I guess. And I knew the speaker. Anyway, did a great job. Boy,
Thank you.
Surprised. I listened today too. So anyway, I really was impressed with that.
I had a good time. I had an enjoyable time doing it.
Well, you're a good speaker.
Well, appreciate it.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, Mike. Happy New Year.
Hey, same to you, buddy. Bye now.
All right. Bye now. All right, we'll take our last break and return and get ready for the farm show. It's a holiday today. The markets are closed and Terry Henny's off, but I think Charlie has some segments that Terry has recorded, and you'll hear those coming up.
Bridge is open to traffic. Brought to you by Bay City Bridge Partners and local union workers. Come see the new